Hey, what's up, guys? Johnny Con here, aka Not Such a Conqueror. Um, yeah, guys, it's really easy to give a review to a book off the get go and give the initial impressions as to the aesthetics or whatever, or just a quick look through, But it really takes some time to really appreciate the contents of a book. When I first saw this book, I knew that I had to have it, you know. Once again, with all the beautiful sigils in it or whatnot. And I just got this idea. Again, I'm not like the ultimate professional of magic or chaos magic or whatever. And I'm still learning in so many ways. But it's beautiful, how you study and everything begins to click together. One entry here in particular with the sigil were the Rabisu that caught my attention for some reason. And these entities are very good for vampirism or even for cursing, right? And it says here that the plant offering is magnolia. Again, in my particular practice, I usually don't use herbs, so I kind of do look up the alternative. And while doing that, I saw that they were connected to Lilith, that in mythology, the Ribisu were created by Lilith. And I just so happen to have a Lilith Grimoire here that was actually written by my friend. And I'm all like, he has a benevolent and a baneful circle to call upon Lilith. And in his book, Scotty Hop's book, he says to, do the cast your circle and then make a petition. So I'm all like, if Lilith created them, maybe I can petition her, to maybe have a little bit more success in my, in the ritual that I'm planning. And since the Ribisu don't really have a traditional sigil, that's why this book is really helpful. Oleander's book for the sigils that she created for these entities. And I'm all like, I'm just gonna make my whole, like, I'm gonna jerry rig like my whole, sigil. Ritual. Cast a circle, make my petition to Lilith. And it's kind of like what you do in these pathworking books, which I'm pretty crazy about, Especially the new one that I got. I think it's Lucifer and the Hidden Demons by Theodore Rowe. I could just pull books out of nowhere. I usually got like books scattered here on my bed. In this book, usually call on Lucifer, and you call on the demon that rules over the lesser ones. You call on the prince, and then you ask him for permission. First you ask Lucifer, and then you ask, it's kind of like a flow chart. Kind of like you go down the ranks and you ask for permission. And that's kind of like what I'm thinking about doing with the Rabisu and, Lilith. But anyway, something cool there. If you're a beginner in your practice, you're going to start to see that everything begins to make sense, Even if you fail at one thing, you're going to find yourself going back to the thing that might have failed the first time. Me in particular, right? I kind of didn't get the circle thing at first, but then I kept on going back to it until I learned it, And you're gonna start to see that everything kind of like, makes sense, or kind of learn what entities or what demons are in charge of other demons and whatnot, and call on them, and maybe you'll have greater success, getting the outcome or reaching the entity that you want, But anyways, just something a little cool there, and I'll let you guys know the results. Actually, I just tried out his one of his circles in Scotty Hop's book, the Lithian Grimoire, and it's pretty sick, man. I'm not gonna lie. When I first tried out his circle for Lilith, started popping up in my dreams, bro. Good shit. But anyways, the 3 books that I mentioned here are The Black Grimoire of Diabolical Witchcraft by Oleander Sky, Grimoire of the Crimson Moon by Scott E. Hobbs, and this is my newest one that I've just bought, Lucifer and the Hidden Demons by Theodore Rose. Good stuff, guys. Alright, anyways, thanks for checking out my TikTok/YouTube. Peace.